All right, welcome to the latest episode of the Coleman Power Organic Fitness Podcast. If you are a first-time listener, where have you been the whole time? We're here absolutely every Thursday. If you're a long-time listener, welcome back. This is the show where we talk about all things fitness, all things food, all things nutrition, growing your own or buying it. It's key for health. So it's a solo Q&A. We have so many different topics to be covered here. We have straight up. Okay, I'll go through the main questions. Most certainly that we're going to be going through here today. I'm actually multitasking at its finest and also doing a Q live on the likes of TikTok. We have Dizzy. How are you? Doing very well. Going straight into this podcast. Brian, how are we? Brian, my name is Coleman. We'll straight up into the questions. Right. Do we need to eat less food as we age? Okay, that came in from individual. I was at an event, and most certainly that was at a yoga event, and it was held in the likes of Johnstown House in Kildare. So the next question we're going to is, what is the minimum sunlight we need each day? Okay, that comes from Sharon Kennedy. Then we go on to Breda Gorman. Is it better to work out at home or in the gym to lose weight? Okay. Then we're following on with, what does the word organic mean to me? And after that, that's from Instagram. That's anonymous. That was a tough one. And then recommendations for zinc for foods rather than supplements. That comes from Soulmates on Instagram. So straight up, off the bat, those are the questions and topics we're going to be talking about for the next 30 odd minutes. And so straight away, do we need less food as we age? So I'm going to touch on and expand on that point. It's more so what ends up happening is we do need a certain amount of calories throughout a given day. Whatever age you currently are and whatever your activity levels are, it is a determination of how much food we eat. As we age, we tend to move a little bit less. We're moving less, and in fact, we're eating out typically more. So it's not that we need to most certainly eat less. We need to match it to our activity levels. So that's one of the first things I would get people to do when I'm training and mentoring on the online nutrition and exercise program, is making sure that they know what foods they have to eat to maintain the current weight that they're on. If they're looking to lose weight, we have to either increase their activity or reduce down the, I suppose, amount of calories that they have in a day. And more often than not, that's a very easy thing, because most people are under eating their breakfast, they're under eating their lunch, and they're under eating their dinner, and they're binge eating towards the end of, I'm going to say, the end of the Monday, the Tuesday, the Wednesday, the Thursday, the Friday, because that's what happens. We are living such a busy life that we tend to rush around and end up skipping main meals. If you skip meals, you are going to undereat your protein. If you undereat your protein and your carbohydrates and your healthy fats, the three things the body runs off, inevitably the body is going to most certainly want to survive. Okay, just realize that the body is so intelligent that it will literally get you to reach for high calorie foods. And the point is that the typical foods that are in the house that have high calorie would be processed foods, biscuits, chocolates, cakes. Straight up, you're choosing them. And then we inevitably end up being a calorie surplus that we put on weight. We put on weight as we age a little bit easier because we tend to work more. We don't tend to look after ourselves. We don't put ourselves priority. And you have to make yourself priority if you're looking to improve your health. And that comes from dialing down your nutrition. That comes from increasing your exercise. And that I do recommend either home workouts and or the likes of a gym, because it's the idea that you do what works for you, right? That exercise minimum requirement is 10,000 steps. And that's what you need to do. You need to move more. And that's what brings me on to the likes of the next question. What is the minimum sunlight we need each day? Okay, that comes from Sharon Kennedy, all the way classically from Donegal, and currently on the Organic Fitness Program and doing an absolute cracker of a job on it too. Right, what's the minimum amount of sunlight we need each day? So touching on that point is, okay, sunlight is so key for health. Without it, we would die. It's out there every single day, whether it's raining, whether it's cloudy, whether you live in Ireland, whether you live in the likes of America, Australia, the UK, people are not getting enough sunlight. It sets your circadian rhythm. It improves your sleep. It's one of the first things that I do every single day. Get natural sunlight on the likes of my skin, and in particular my face and my eyes. You don't necessarily have to look directly at the sun, because that can cause most certainly issues, even though there are some countries such as the likes of India to do sun gazing, which is look directly at the sun as it comes over the sunrise. And either way, getting it in sunlight into your eyes is something that naturally wakes up the body. When you wake up your body first thing in the morning, you are increasing the stress hormone, cortisol, which is important. Okay, uh, don't demonize the whole idea of the sun. The danger is in the dose. You are most certainly meant and designed to get it every single day. Most people are sitting at a desk for 8 hours. Okay, you're inside, you're sitting in artificial light, which I currently am right now because it's quite early in the morning when I'm recording this podcast. And most certainly, as soon as the sun is coming up, I'm going to be out there. I'm going to get in my steps. I'm going to factor in some training throughout the day with dumbbells. And that is, again, all inclusive of, okay, me being the healthiest version of myself. So the minimum requirement I would recommend is about 20 minutes. And as a result of that, typically getting it and spreading it throughout the day. Okay, so getting it in the morning, getting it at lunchtime, and then getting it in the evening. And that's all down and down what? The line for you improving and where you currently are with your health. Sun is key. It grows food. It sets our circadian rhythm. It's something we can't live without. And when you get it throughout sporadic times during the day, it is going to help improve your sleep. When you improve your sleep, you improve your hunger hormones. You also improve the likes of your skin health, because that's when your body recovers from, most certainly, it recovers from any activities we have most certainly done throughout the day, whether it's exercise and or physical movement. It is key for health. Okay, it actually is part of the day where you actually retain the information that you most certainly have gained in the previous 24 hours. And that's definitely something that I have massively improved. Healthy Eric, how are we doing? Just touching on a point there with somebody on TikTok. So it's something that I've massively done throughout, I suppose, the last I'm going to say the last 10 years. I've been literally reading more books, and not necessarily actually physically reading, listen to audiobooks. And that's what I recommend for people who are going out on the likes of walks. It is getting brighter. Spring is sprung, and get your ass out there. Put on a podcast, listen to this podcast, and gain free information every single week, whether it's guests or Q&As just like this. You are and I like to multitask. Okay, they say men can't do it. By God, I'm doing it from AM to PM. I am listening to podcasts, and I am most certainly getting out and being as active as I possibly can in the sunlight and growing my own fruit and vegetables, apples. I have red currants, I have black currants. If you don't have these, get them in your garden immediately. If not, go to your country markets and buy them. Typically, country markets are Thursday, Fridays, Saturdays, and or Sundays. And you're unsure of where the country markets are, Google. Write it down. Okay, it starts with G, starts with O, GLE, hope that's how you spell Google. And that'll sort you out where your local country market is. And from that, you're set up for a classic sunlight exposure, because country markets are outside. They're typically not inside. And you can get your best bang for your buck buying nutritionally dense food, okay, that's grown in soil and with sunlight. And this is another point we're going to touch on. With foods grown in sunlight, such as organic and local and fresh, and if you're doing it yourself, it's something that people often say, you lose your appetite a little bit in warmer conditions. So that can happen inevitably because, okay, the sunlight, okay, is a way of giving you energy, okay, without actually any calories. So a lot of people tend to lose weight in the summer months. Yes, because they're eating a little bit less. But not only that, when you eat foods, let's say that's in season right now, rocket, mincemeat, a mixed salad bag, take for example, that you should be adding into your lunches and even breakfast smoothies and your main meals with dinner, or kale, you can also add in, or spinach, or beetroot leaves, or chard, any of those, is something that's going to give you energy. Firstly, because it's food is stored energy, it's stored light. So realize that everything to do with the sun, is so key for your health, right? You're eating it, you're consuming it, you're absorbing it. Our skin is a solar panel. So that's why for the majority of the time you'll see me throughout the summer, the winter, the spring, the autumn months. I've said them all backwards, but it doesn't matter. Nonetheless, they're all been mentioned. I'll have shorts on. I'll typically have short sleeves. And when it is appropriate, I'll also have my top off to most certainly gain the advantage of producing vitamin D naturally. Okay. Absorbing in that skin and making sure that I don't ever recommend getting burnt. Building up your tolerance. It's just like you don't go into a training session and get the 2 heaviest dumbbells you can possibly find and lift them immediately. No, you start off with the 5 kg. You then go on to most certainly the 10 kg. Then you go up to 15, 20, all the way up to as far as 100. And you start lifting as heavy as Arnold Schwarzenegger in the end. Okay, if that's your end goal. But wherever you're at right now, you would say, oh God, I always burn in the sun. You may burn, but most certainly I can tell you it's very rare that you would burn in morning sunlight. It's very rare that you would burn in evening sunlight because that is furthest distance away from the likes of where your current position is right now. And that's what I'm recommending to you, morning and evening sunlight, to build up your tolerance, build up your natural, I suppose, melanin in your skin that protects the body from the likes of those harsh rays at typically, and in Ireland, and typically Europe for this matter, we, in all countries straight up, we tend to literally see the sun, whether it's a spring or summer day, and we go out and we put our hands up in the air, we lie down flat on our back. Next thing we roll over and say, oh my God, I'm cooked. And the chicken goes from one side cooked to the other, burning excessively. And then we say, oh my God, I'm going to tan anyway. That is not the best way for anybody to, I suppose, improve their health from sunlight. It's slow, low, steady. Okay, morning and evening sunlight is 100% what I'm recommending to everybody. And it's a part of, I suppose, the process of being the best version of yourself that I would recommend to people. Natural health comes from foods. Vitamin D is produced when the sunlight penetrates your skin and goes into your bloodstream. And as a result of that, it's made from cholesterol. So that's another point that often people say is cholesterol bad for you, and from eggs in particular. And it is something that definitely I would recommend people, if you're not currently eating eggs, to try and get them into your diet because they're literally nature's multivitamin and they're lovely. Keep them sunny side up. Maximize the benefits of the antioxidants. That's in the book that I'm holding right now that I wrote, just in case people don't know what book it is. And yes, that moves us on lovely to the likes of Breda Gorman's question. We have, is it better to work out at home or the gym to lose weight? I'm going to say, and I love this point, if you can do A and you can do B, then do both. But the point is, most certainly, do the one that you can be consistent with. Most people struggle to lose weight because of inconsistency. You need to pick at least 4 days a week that you're training. Okay, so if I was mentoring and do mentor and coach people, the point is typically people train on a Monday, they train on a Tuesday, they take Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, Friday. That's 4 days. I give them a workout plan, exercise specifically to their fitness level at this moment in time. And after that, there will be a period of the weekend that they either take off or they will do an extra day. Okay, so each one of those is 2 sets of dumbbells you're only going to need. It's a compound movement that we'll be carrying out. It's either squats, it's either bent over rows, it's either a lunge and a curl, combining 2 movements at once with high intensity typically at the end, which often is another question asked, is it better to do weights or do cardio to lose weight? Combine the 2 together and you will see the best bang for your buck with anything you do, especially if weight loss is your goal. Because inevitably, when you are trying to lose body fat in particular, not necessarily numbers, weight on a scales, it's just numbers. Okay, you can literally lose weight by stop drinking water. But I'm going to help you and do help people to lose weight. So touching on that point is, okay, when we exercise, we typically use up the body's first source of energy, which is carbohydrates. That's typically the body's first source of energy. So I will most certainly then, and every after working out, use some of those carbohydrates which are stored as glycogen in my muscles, whether it's your biceps you're using, or it's your back muscles, or it's your legs, or it's your core, it's a core finisher, you will start to deplete those glycogen levels. So let's say we're starting at energy levels, we'll say eight today, goes from 8, your carbohydrates, your glycogen in your muscles, 7, we're going down lower, we're working out for 10 minutes, we're heading for the 15, yeah, we're on 4, we're on 3, okay, we finish at 3, we finish the weights, then I incorporate in high intensity finisher. So that means either something like the likes of white burpees, could be jumping jacks, could be high knees, rope pulls, it could be toe touch, could be squat, toe point, could be any of those exercises. So to most certainly finish off your glycogen stores and help you then tap into your reserves, your body fat, and using that as a direct source of energy. That is what I would recommend and do to so many different clients. And it works extremely well because it's using both the science and it's combining weights and cardio, typically at home, and it can also be incorporated into people who work out, who want to work out in the gym. And it is what I do myself, and what I do is what I recommend. So the point is, it's key for you to most certainly find a routine that works for you, getting back into your healthy habits, and factoring in that on the days that we're not exercising, we're still getting 10,000 steps. Why? Because 10,000 steps is using up between 300 and 500 calories on any given day. Those are the things you need to be doing on a regular basis, not worrying about trying to get a low calorie, high protein bar in. That's not necessarily going to help you. Why? Because understanding foods, because training is one side of it, and I will most certainly point you in the right direction of understanding foods. I've mentioned that people undereat, yes, and the thing they typically tend to undereat is the protein foods. So that's whether that's chicken, that's fish, that's turkey, that's eggs, that's lentils, that's beans, that's you name the protein source. Yogurts is typically undereaten. So what I'm going to get most people to do is increase the amount of complete proteins that they have in their diet. So they're eating always a high protein breakfast. Your lunch is typically containing full of fiber, going to keep you again satiated with greens and high what classic beetroot vegetables, vegetables such as beetroot. I'm just trying to think of what I'm having for lunch now. I'm having purple top Milan turnip, which is actually so sweet, and I'm having rainbow chard with a complete protein. I might go with fish for lunch. So that is something that's going to keep you satiated. Next thing is, if you're still struggling after having a protein source, having for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner, what you need to do is you can either increase your protein with a lovely, so I have it here. Oh, it's over there. It's too far away. It's a Glennis protein yogurt. Okay, Glennis, get your ass out and start sponsoring me. So it's literally, the full tub is 50 grams of protein. You don't have to eat the full tub. If you ate half of the tub, it's 25 grams of protein. On top of that, using it as a dessert is what I like to do. Adding fruit, such as an apple, sliced up organic apple, adding cinnamon controls your blood sugar levels, preventing cravings is what I recommend to so many different people, because it's such a simple thing. There's no cooking, there's no prepping. And then after that, if you're still struggling, the definition of a supplement is to supplement what you cannot get from your diet. So the typical protein supplement that I'm using is a plant-based one. Why? Because I like the taste and it helps, it's easy for me to digest. You can use other ones, but it's an organic protein source, and it's one that I recommend to clients on the program. So that's what you need to do, and you can add it very easily to oats. So a typical breakfast for me, and breakfast is important whatever time you eat it at, is overnight oats. So I'm getting my oats. I would add in a spoon of cacao. I would add in a spoon of flax seeds, spoon of chia seeds, some pumpkin seeds, and in on top of that, my oats, if I haven't mentioned those, and a protein supplement. Okay, that can get me well over 30 grams of protein. In that, I can also, if I added in some hemp seeds, can get me close to 40 grams of protein. And that is something that really satiates me. I'm fuller for longer. I'm not and do not have cravings, because also that magnesium found in the cacao is something that really does, okay, keep me full. There's no prep, there's no cooking. I do it the night before. I can make 4 of them, put them into glass jars, and they're ready to rock and roll, and or put them into the yogurt tub that I've had the night before, which is exactly what's in here, and the spoon and everything. because I haven't tidied that up yet. Ma'am, will you tidy up there? Thanks. I live on my own. Thanks, ma'am. So, lost train of thought. Back on it. Yes, getting in a certain amount of protein to keep you fuller for longer is the other side of people losing weight. Okay, it is essential. Once you dial down your nutrition and most certainly the exercise that you can have on a regular basis, doing them at home with 2 sets of dumbbells. Okay, for the most part, that's suiting the majority of the people that I'm training right now. It's quick, it's handy, it's easy. You are literally going into a room. You have your workout gear either lined out from the night before. You have it rolling out of bed. Most certainly, throw them on. Get in there in your workout room and bang it out. Your 20 minutes minimum requirement. You can do it, but you have to make a priority. Too many people go, it's tough, it's difficult, I'm struggling, and say they can't lose weight. You can't lose weight because you're continuing to doing the same thing. You're saying you can't because the person who says they can't and the person who says they can, they're both correct. So what you need to do is change what you're doing. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. Okay? That's what you have to do. You have to make a priority. Best time to train is the time that suits you. More often than not, it's the morning. If you have kids, if you have a busy job, you have a hectic day ahead, use your time wisely and knock it out of the park. Okay? If you have a weight management problem, say you struggle to lose weight, you don't do it in 20 minutes in the morning, it's not that you have a weight management problem, it's a time management issue that you have. Okay? Realize that. You're in control of the habits and the things that you do every day. If you really want something, you'll do it because you'll make a priority. Right? Next question comes in from Q&A that I did on Instagram. All right. What does the word organic mean to me? So the word organic means to me is organic fitness. Yeah, organic fitness. So first I'll actually do what's the organic fitness. The word organic fitness to me is people doing more things that benefit them. That's most certainly exercising. That's either growing their own or buying it. And the point is, it's a lifestyle. It's not a diet. That's something that I can sing home about. I've went through all the diets. I've done the low carb. I've done taken out the rice. I've taken out the breads. I've taken out the potatoes. I've told family members I'm not going to eat that. I've tried keto. I've even done veganism throughout a really difficult period of time because I like to do things really difficult. I did over Christmas, and my family nearly lost a rag when I didn't want to have turkey on Christmas Day. Yeah, that can upset people. And I did it. It was something that made me understand foods a hell of a lot better because I mostly know a lot about nutrition and I had to understand combining foods such as the likes of lentils and maybe pumpkin seeds or any other nuts, or having lentils as a staple in my diet for the fact that they're extremely high protein, but they don't contain all 9 essential amino acids. And that's why it's key for most people to start having a diet where it suits you going long term. And people who do who do particular one strict diet, or say veganism, it's something that people tend to need to supplement. Okay, because they're not getting all their first amino acids and may not from protein, from their protein sources. And people say, "Oh, Colin, I get plenty of protein. It's fine, right?" You may be lacking a lot of B12 vitamins that also come from meat sources and eggs and any other dairy products such as yogurt that people tend to consume a lot of on the organic fitness program training and food. So it's really about getting the best type of foods to suit you and your lifestyle. And that is something that I get. And I've touched on a point here now on that. Really appreciate your insight. You're spreading good in the world. Thomas, thanks so much. Eric says, I have a blessed day here on TikTok as well. And why are you up so early and dressed so well? I do have a shirt on for people that are not watching. It's blue, it's clean, it's pretty much ironed, as I like to say. Sabrina, good morning. Good morning. And yes, I have a shirt on because I'm doing an event today. I'm doing more and more events around the country with the likes of Grow Your Own courses on here at Featherfield Farm. I teach people, which leads me on lovely to the next point. Okay, I put on lovely shirts when I'm doing Grow Your Own courses. And next one is the 18th of March. There's one every month for the next, most certainly, grow for the next growing season we have ahead of us. And that touches me, gets me to touch on that point of, okay, but what does the word organic mean to me? The word organic means, okay, most certainly growing things without the likes of harsh chemicals. Whether it's labeled organic or not isn't necessarily the main point. The key thing is, okay, that it's grown using regenerative agriculture, which all organic food is. However, you get better bang for your buck if you're growing your own, or you can get it local. So my 3 pillars of most certainly you getting the best type of foods into your health will be local. It will be fresh and will be organic. Are you doing those things? Are you getting them an optimal nutrition for yourself? Because actually realize that the second something is harvested, it actually starts to reduce on its nutrition value. So more often than not, I actually eat straight from the veg patch. And I love right now, in season, is the likes of winter purslane. Oh my God, my skin health has never been so good. Okay, in on top of doing other things, but I am getting high vitamin C from the whole food, straight from the veg patch. I am eating rocket. I'm eating chard. Lovely stuff. All high in magnesium. Boom! My energy levels are through the roof from AM to PM. And I do work a lot, so I need as much energy as I possibly can. And I have a niece now that's steadily running rings around me. And I must plan to factor in to see that woman today if I can at all possible. Family time, key for health as well. Okay, there's pillars of health, and family are most certainly up there with me. So that is definitely what organic fitness means to me. And after that is what the word organic means. It's a registered term. It's something that is and does have an organic symbol. It does indicate from symbols that you are allocated to stick on your product, whether it's organic cacao, it's an organic yogurt, or it's a bag of greens or carrots. It's something that is rigorously tested. And people often say, Coleman, I heard that John Murphy down the road, he is after spraying his carrots and he got away with it. Yeah, well, I'm going to say there's always going to be one. Okay, but for the most part, people who sign up to be registered with Organic Terrestrial Soil Association or the USDA, they're paid a fee. They're paying a fee every year. Okay, so they're actually spending money to have somebody to come out and do more paperwork. And more often than not, farmers, growers who are producing food organically, they want the best for you. They're looking after the land and they're trying to give you the best quality foods that they can produce. Okay, because we cannot keep producing food the way we're currently doing. Food is never really cheap. And if it is cheap, the cost is paid way, way, way beyond the likes of the counter. It's that realization that, okay, if it is cheap, if it's 49 cents, if it's €1, it's $1. You know, there's American listeners out there. It's something that the soil is either paid for it, or the poor individual, whether a boy or girl or kid, teenager, what's the word for 20-year-olds, 20s, 30s, well, whatever the age may be, picked or harvested that produce. It's not paid at the counter. Food's not cheap, nor should it be. You know, and you will know all about it if you start growing your own, which I highly recommend. All right. So going on to the last question we have got here. We have recommendations for zinc in foods rather than supplements. All right, this comes from Soulmates on Instagram. All right, and this is a very good question because, okay, supplements are and do affect the body completely different to eating whole foods. And I'm always going to recommend you whole foods first before I recommend any supplements. And there are some people that do on the program take supplements, but for the most part, we're eating all whole foods. So we're eating complete proteins, we're eating essential healthy fats, and we're eating complex carbohydrates. And then we're eating fruits, vegetables that most certainly contain a host of vitamins and minerals. But the ones that I do recommend specifically for the likes of zinc would be red meats. If you do not eat red meats, then you can most certainly get it from fish. If you do not eat the likes of fish, you most certainly can eat it from pumpkin seeds. And those are the 3 different, I suppose, stages of catering for all, as I do on this podcast. And that is great if you're getting them from the likes of, let's say, oysters as well, because zinc is not only beneficial for, okay, your as a micronutrient, but it's also good for your immune system. Okay, when you're getting it from, again, a fish source, it is something that also contains selenium. Selenium is good for your thyroid function. That's very important as we age, because I suppose an underactive thyroid can lead to weight gain. And all the time, when we realize that we're getting them from pumpkin seeds, the zinc, we get magnesium. Magnesium helps with sleep. If you have better sleep, you have a knock-on effect to controlling your hunger hormones. When you control your hunger hormones, you're much more likely to make better food choices. And if you're rested, you're much more likely to exercise. When you exercise, you're inevitably going to get into a routine of you and seeing results from using dumbbells and cardio at the end, most certainly. And touching on that point, we need the likes of less food as we age? No, we need to match it to our activity levels. Whether you're 30 years old, listen to this podcast, whether you're 40, whether you're 50, whether you're in your 60s, and thanks for listening, ma'am. The point is matching foods to your activity levels, and most certainly zinc is so important for your immune system. It's one of the things that I do and have recommended. And even when I got and had the flu there, I'm going to say, is that 2 years ago? I most certainly increased the likes of my zinc through eating oysters, and most certainly seafoods and pumpkin seeds was something that I most certainly consumed throughout that period. And remember that food is medicine. And I'm getting as many people as I possibly can to eat these types of foods for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. When you get on to the likes of a routine of eating real foods, of exercising, okay, getting it local, getting organic, your energy levels will massively improve. And the point is, you have to understand foods, okay, before you can start to lose weight and keep it off. Because people who yo-yo diet, okay, are unsure of what foods are actually doing for them. Okay, if you're looking for weight loss, you need to realize these basic fundamentals of nutrition. Protein foods contain 4 kilocalories per gram. Carbohydrates contain 4 kilocalories per gram. And fats, healthy fats even, most certainly contain 9 kilocalories per gram. Every food item is labeled either a protein, a fat, or a carbohydrate, and some might have both. So you most certainly need to lose weight, understand that basic nutrition, that everything you consume has a nutritional value, and nutritional being most certainly important for health. Most people undereat. They undereat the right type of foods. They're needing foods, and the body will most certainly go and lean towards higher calorie foods, and it's typically processed foods that are in the house. So, and this happens to me, okay? If I undereat because I'm working extremely long hours and most certainly early morning here when I started this podcast, the point is that it most certainly is something that I do as well. I will lean towards a high calorie food, but the only high calorie foods that I have in this house, okay, would typically be cheese, okay, and other healthy fats such as peanut butter or nuts. I will lean towards those because my body is clever. It wants me to keep and maintain and satiate and maintain its current weight to thrive. The body is connected from the gut, brain, it's connected to your brain. Gut is connected to the brain. It's called the vagus nerve. Okay, and that's why people tend to binge eat on the likes of blocks of cheese. They literally just can eat the whole thing, or they'll see nuts or peanut butter and they'll literally scoff an amount of it that's unbelievable. And that happens to me too. And realize that it's not just me or you that happens to. This happens to everybody until we realize that foods are key to health. Okay, and just touching on here, we have Nikki. Good morning, all the way from Reading. We have Before You Go. What's your podcast called? I'd love to listen to it while I run. The name of the podcast is Coleman Power Organic Fitness. Coleman Power Organic Fitness. Yeah, podcast is my name. I make it as easy as I possibly can. And the links for all these, this is unreal, just to wrap it up as well, lovely, of all my social media, this is Coleman Power, but it's spelled with COLMANPOWER. Coleman Power. Yeah, don't put the E in there. Okay, Ronnie Coleman comes up. Completely different man. See you. And actually, yeah, it's on the front of my book. Someone texted me yesterday on Instagram and said, how do you spell your name? It's like, holy goodness, godness. Lads, we're becoming a country that's getting lazier and lazier. My name is if I actually look up on the recording, it says Coleman, and top left on Instagram and TikTok, 2 phones, one. Multitask central. My name is spelled the C, the O, the L, the M, the A, the N. Yeah, did that lovely. 2 for 10, please. Not 100% sure what that is. But this book that I'm holding right now is most certainly available on the likes of my tree link. That's at the top of my Instagram. It's at the top of my TikTok, and most certainly it's available on my website. My website is Coleman for Organic Fitness. I am so grateful to do this Q&A. It was a very informative show, and most certainly the amount of people that gain value from it. And if you could do me one favor, just literally share with one of your friends, share it in your stories and tag me. That just really helps, right? I'll be taking on people for the nutrition and exercise program. If anyone is looking to lose weight and most certainly tone up going into the spring and summer months, you can most certainly book in for a free call with me, chatting specifically on where you're at right now. Limited space is actually nearly booked up, but most certainly squirrely, Garcia, how are we? Touching on that point, the next Grow Your Own course is the 18th of March. If you want to grow a little bit of your own, get in it, get on it. And after that, there is most certainly ones later on if the date doesn't suit you. All right. Love ending these podcasts by saying stay tuned, stay classy, and keep it organic. See you next week.